More addictive than sugar, more influential than a global pandemic.
Check.
And possibly more annoying than stepping on a Lego barefoot at 3 a.m. That's Cocomelon. But how the hell did we get to this point?
Cocomelon!
Why are you running?
Oh, hell no!
Let's find out. Long ago, before CGI babies hijacked your screen and made you question your life choices, there was a little YouTube channel called Checkgate. Yeah, I know, it sounds less like a kid's brand and more like a 2010 conspiracy theory. But believe it or not, this unremarkable name was the humble seed that grew into the Frankenstein's monster we now call Cocomelon. It all started on September 12th, 2005, when this guy, Jay John, the brain behind Treasure Studio Inc., decided to dip his toes into YouTube, probably thinking, how hard could it be? In 2006, the channel got its first facelift and rebranded as That's Me on TV, a name so aggressively mid-2000s that it practically came with a MySpace account. They pumped out a bunch of catchy tunes and colorful animations aimed at preschoolers, but it wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. By 2007, the creators started uploading educational videos for kids, which sounds innocent enough, but looking at those early uploads now is like discovering your parents' cringy high school yearbook photos. These videos were rough. I'm talking weird animations that felt like they belonged in some forgotten corner of the internet where lost MySpace profiles go to die. At this point, Checkgate wasn't even trying to be the juggernaut that it is today. It was like that small mom and pop store you walk past without noticing until one day, boom, they've turned into Walmart. Their early content, a mishmash of alphabet songs, nursery rhymes, and other educational stuff that you'd only make a kid sit through if they were driving you insane. Honestly, it had about as much appeal as broccoli-flavored ice cream. But something changed around 2013. The channel went through a midlife crisis and rebranded as ABC Kid TV. They were still making children's content, but it looked a little shinier, a little more polished, like they upgraded from using Windows XP to at least a cracked version of Windows 7. It was still a far cry from the vibrant CGI nightmare fuel we know today, but the seeds were planted. Then in 2018, they decided to pull out the big guns and rename the channel to Cocomelon. Why Cocomelon? Does it make any sense? Nope. Did it matter? Absolutely not, because just like that, the channel hit the algorithmic jackpot. Cocomelon's the kind of name you'd come up with while half asleep after eating too many gummy bears, and yet it worked. By 2020, Jay John decided it was time to step away. He sold Treasure Studio to Moonbug Entertainment, cashed in, and presumably fled to a soundproof bunker where Johnny Yes Papa could never haunt him again. Now, this is where things get truly weird. Cocomelon didn't just grow, it exploded, like PewDiePie and T-Series level exploded. What Jay John began as a small hobby with his wife, making animations their kids enjoyed, had grown into a global phenomenon. Before you could say Baby Shark, parents everywhere were unknowingly feeding their kids digital crack disguised as nursery rhymes. The visuals got sleeker, the songs catchier, and more irritating. And suddenly, the content wasn't just educational, it was hypnotic. Cocomelon was no longer just for the kids, it became a tool for parents everywhere to get 5 minutes of peace. By 2019, the channel had already amassed millions of subscribers, but it wasn't done yet. The PewDiePie vs. Cocomelon saga came, a moment in YouTube history that can only be described as bizarre. PewDiePie, the internet's edgelord, decided to roast Cocomelon with a diss track. Why? Because even Felix couldn't escape the omnipresence of these animated toddlers singing Wheels on the Bus. Unfortunately for him, YouTube wasn't about to let their golden child, Cocomelon, get bullied. They pulled the video faster than a toddler yanking their hand away from vegetables, and that was that. Cocomelon was untouchable. PewDiePie? He went back to meme reviews, probably drowning his sorrows in IKEA furniture. From there, Cocomelon just kept climbing. By the time they hit 100 million subscribers, they had cemented their place in the annals of YouTube history. They had more power than the MCU, more views than a K-pop music video, and more toddlers entranced than you could count. Their content had evolved too. Gone were the days of weirdly unsettling animations. Now it was all about shiny, plastic-looking families singing nursery rhymes with a production quality that could rival Pixar. Okay, maybe not Pixar, but at least DreamWorks on a lazy day. day? And why even stop at English-speaking kids when there was an entire world of potential tiny superfans? The creators went full world domination mode, churning out international versions so kids everywhere could get their fix of hypnotic nursery rhymes. Now, no matter where you go, you can find a child staring blankly at a screen, probably humming a Cocomelon song in a language you don't even speak. And if you thought you could escape Cocomelon by turning off YouTube, think again. They slapped JJ's face on everything: clothes, toys, backpacks, probably even bed sheets, ensuring parents could never get a moment of peace. And just when you thought they had peaked, Cocomelon announced a collaboration with Keke Palmer of all persons for a new series, Cocomelon Classroom.
Are you ready to learn together?
Because apparently they needed star power now, Palmer joined the already beloved Ms. Appleberry for an educational program packed with fun activities, catchy music, and the same level of mind control that's kept millions of toddlers in an unblinking trance. So what's the problem? Why am I sitting here ranting about a channel designed for literal babies? Well, here's the thing. Cocomelon is a problem, not like, oh no, my kid's watching too much TV problem. No, this is a, why does my 3-year-old look like a zombie when this show comes on? Problem. Cocomelon is like the digital equivalent of handing your kid a Mountain Dew and a pack of Mentos, and then being surprised when they start bouncing off the walls. Let's talk about the addictiveness. Cocomelon doesn't just entertain kids, it entrances them. I mean, put this show on and watch as toddlers stop whatever chaos they were causing and immediately become hypnotized, staring at the screen like they've just witnessed a magical event. Their brains might as well be saying, I can't look away, I must have more. You know something's wrong when a kid can't blink while watching a brightly colored digital baby sing about brushing their teeth. You'd think it's just innocent fun, but nope, you're witnessing the early stages of dependency. This show is engineered to keep kids glued to the screen. You ever notice how fast the scenes switch in Cocomelon? It's like the camera is on a sugar high. In regular shows, a scene lasts a few seconds, time enough for you to actually process what's happening. But in Cocomelon, they're changing angles, zooming in, zooming out, moving the frame every split second like it's a TikTok for toddlers. And that's exactly the problem. It's designed to overload their little brains with constant stimulation. Experts have even compared it to gambling. Yes, gambling. Those rapid scene changes trigger dopamine in the brain, making kids crave more, just like giving them an all-you-can-eat buffet of flashing colors and cartoon faces. Let's not even get started on the repetition. Cocomelon takes the same songs you've heard a million times and makes you hear them again and again until your ears bleed. You've probably got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star permanently embedded in your psyche by now. And good luck getting The Wheels on the Bus out of your head anytime soon. For kids, repetition is how they learn, fine. But for parents, it's straight up psychological warfare. It's like being trapped in a never-ending loop of the same earworm songs until you finally give in and surrender your sanity. But let's look at this from the darker side. Is Cocomelon even helping kids develop? Well, there's a growing amount of concern from experts who say it might actually be doing the opposite.
But child development specialist Jerica Sands has said that it is okay to rely on anecdotal evidence to tell us that Cocomelon is indeed a problem.
You see, Cocomelon isn't just another TV show. It's hyper-stimulating kids to the point where nothing else can compete. You ever try to take Cocomelon away from a toddler? It's like trying to pry a phone out of a teenager's hands. Full meltdown mode, complete with crying, screaming, and sometimes throwing things. And this might be the worst part. Some experts believe that Cocomelon is harming kids' development, particularly when it comes to speech. Parents have reported that after watching too much Cocomelon, their toddlers are delayed in talking. The fast-paced, overstimulating nature of the show doesn't give their little brains time to process what they're hearing. Instead of learning how to speak or form sentences, they're glued to a screen, passively absorbing the flashing images. Cocomelon is literally babysitting your kids, but instead of teaching them anything useful, it's just turning them into wide-eyed zombies with a newfound obsession for JJ and his sing-along crew. And don't even get me started on the weird moral lessons. In Cocomelon world, everything is happy and perfect all the time. The parents are cheerful, the kids are obedient, except for the occasional harmless tantrum. And the animals? Well, they're either pets or magical creatures. But in real life, kids aren't living in some bubble where everything is resolved with a song. Sometimes they're dealing with real problems, and watching Cocomelon doesn't teach them how to handle them. It teaches them that if you just sing a song about cleaning your room, magically your mess will disappear. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. here's the darkest side of it all. Cocomelon has basically created an alpha generation of kids who are going to grow up with a skewed perception of reality. They'll expect life to be a series of brightly colored scenes where nothing ever goes wrong, everyone is always happy, and everything gets solved in 2 minutes with a catchy tune. In the real world though, yeah, good luck with that. Wait until they find out life doesn't come with a background soundtrack to help them navigate paying bills and dealing with existential dread. Cocomelon is a problem, a big one. And sure, it's helping parents get a break from the madness of raising tiny humans. But at what cost? Is it really worth it if kids are getting more screen time than real life playtime? If toddlers are learning more from animated characters than from their own parents? The scary truth is, Cocomelon has figured out how to hack the brains of children, and as long as it keeps racking up billions of views, no one's gonna stop them. So where does that leave us? Cocomelon, the once humble channel from 2007, is now a global phenomenon. It's hard to deny its impact. It's basically the Baby Shark of YouTube, but on steroids. We've seen its rise from obscure educational content to the top of the children's entertainment world, dominating the screens of millions of toddlers around the world. From its early days as Checkgate, where it could barely scrape together a couple hundred subscribers, to now boasting nearly 200 million subscribers. An empire built on catchy tunes, overstimulation, and repetitive nursery rhymes. But behind those brightly colored animations and cheerful sing-alongs is something a little more sinister. Cocomelon isn't just entertaining kids, it's keeping them hooked. It's overloading their senses and making sure they keep coming back for more, to the point where real life just doesn't seem as exciting. Now, is Cocomelon the worst thing to happen to children's entertainment? Probably not, but it's certainly not the innocent educational content it claims to be. It's a business, first and foremost, a very successful one, but still a business that thrives on keeping kids glued to the screen. And while it might give parents a few moments of peace, we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? Are we raising a generation of kids who will only know how to sit passively in front of a screen, waiting for the next burst of colors and sounds to keep them entertained? The truth is, Cocomelon isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's only getting bigger. So parents, maybe it's time to think twice before hitting play on that next episode. Because while JJ might be cute and those nursery rhymes might give you a break, the long-term effects of turning to Cocomelon for comfort could be much more complicated than you realize. In the end, maybe the real lesson we're learning from Cocomelon is that nothing in life is as simple as a catchy tune and a sing-along, especially not parenting. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Share this with anyone who needs to hear the real story behind Cocomelon.